from the
Same places, trap music, this that first react music. They can't hold me back, I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this, my flow I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking, you should hush bitch. I am from the heavy base, my bro called a heavy case. Got a couple
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. And tonight, we will be smoking on the word solution. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Peace, God. Yeah, I'm goody, man. I'm goody. I can't lie.
Yes, indeed.
Me and the wife had a massage today, so it was great.
Ooh.
It was great. I'm feeling loosey goosey. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Man, that's the best.
Yeah,
That's
how
the
you
best.
feeling?
Always thankful for another Sunday.
That's
You
what's
know,
up.
feeling
That's
way
what's up.
better than I was last week. You know, I was under the weather, dealing with a little bug, but
You look way better.
you know what I'm saying? We got that shit up off of us 'cause it was slowing me down, you
And
know,
that's no bueno.
feeling achy, breaky heart. But man, tonight, y'all, we are smoking on the word solution. And if you just joining us or new to the channel, first make sure to hit that like button. We really appreciate it. It is the freest way you can help support the channel. We also have links in the description for merch and literature and all other fine things ready for the holiday season. So go hit them links in the description and check us out. We appreciate it. If not, make sure to hit the like button. We are going to bring up our questions for this evening. And what we do here at Cigar Sundays Live is first we answer our first question, and then we go to the definition of the word. So let's go over our three questions this evening, smoking on the word solution. What do you think of when you hear the word solution? Let us know in the comment section what you think of when you hear the word solution. How do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution? And our third question of the evening will be, and is, should a solution be measured by its effectiveness or by its ethical implications? Let us know what y'all think in the comment section, and we're going to go ahead and get into our first question. What do you think of when you hear the word solution? Let us know in the chat, y'all. We're going to drop the link so y'all can get in there and interact and exchange insights with us. The God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
So the very first thing that I think of when I hear the word solution, I think of an answer to a question, an answer to a problem, an answer to a situation that needs resolution, right? I say an answer because everybody's situation is different and they may need different answers to solve their problems, even if they may be in the same situation, right? They still may have different problems even though they may appear to be in the same situation, right? So that's why I say an answer. The second thing I think of, which is really kind of like the first thing I think of, um, really and truly, is there's work to be done, right?
Mhm.
And that part right there, for me, I just make a list. What do I got to do? All right, like let me go Google it and print out the list of things that say that I need to do to be successful at this very new thing that I'm trying to do for the first time or for the hundredth time. Right? Because what I learned from the military, and I'm sure you have too, God, um, like you look over your PQS, you look over the documentation, like you don't, because when you get spot check, you can't necessarily just wing it. You know what I'm saying? You got
No, it's no winging anything unless you getting served a chicken wing on your plate at child. That's the only winging you doing.
like a spot check, you got to be, how much do it say to put in there? Exactly, and measuring that joint off, and you know what I
I
mean,
know that's right.
and calling that joint off. Um, so I don't know, man. Like I think about the work that needs to get done, and I just make a list, bro. Like just knock that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, but that's easy. That's easy for me because I'm the type of person that's goal oriented, right? So because I'm goal oriented, solutions are easy for me to see always, right? Even if again, even if my solution may appear to be bad for you, you don't necessarily know what I need,
That's right.
right? So it becomes tricky to judge um somebody else's choices, I guess, right? Like unless they affect you, that's why I say I mind my business. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Definitely.
but yeah, that's what I got for right now. I got work to do. I got answers. Um, I think that's pretty much it. Like solution's pretty easy for me. It's just all
No
right.
doubt. Answers. You got answers. Yep. Achieving the goal, reaching your destination.
Can I add God on that real quick?
God, we
Yo,
add what
not
you want to add.
because it's not just answers, but it's answers that I have to accept.
Answers that you have to accept a part of when you think of solution.
Right.
Okay.
Like, so I don't, so and I say that part because, and again, because I'm goal oriented, it's not so much about me liking what I have to do.
Okay.
Right. Because that might not be part of the solution. Me liking, I don't necessarily have to like the process. Right. Um,
Yes, that's
but,
correct.
but I'm focused on my goal. And as long as I reach that, then then I get to be happy.
That's
Like
right.
for real. Right. But I have to accept the answer, and I have to, if I got to do a bunch of paperwork, if I got to go to school, if I got to get a cert, if I got to go to church, if I got to do whatever I got to go do to get to what it is that I need to get to, I have to accept that, and I got to do that, right? Or find an alternate solution and accept that answer as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a answer that I have to accept, the goal, all of those things I agree with um being viewed as solution. Definitely, in the thought process of it. I have when I hear the word solution, I have like final, like it's finished.
Mm.
And I take you back to like growing up, because I had to think about it. I said I had to think about where did I become solution oriented? What things happened? You know, that made me say, when it's final, it's like what you said, like it's either the goal, it's the answer, but I do have to accept it. And the part of me with the solution is, what role do I play? What did I learn? What did I do? Because it was my thing that I had to figure out. What did I learn from it? That, you know, like solutions come with learning lessons. Because like you said, sometimes you gotta, you know, you can't wing it, but you have to learn the things necessary, you know, to get to that solution, because it may not get you there the first time. But that's not failure. That's just a lesson of what not to do to get to the goal.
Correct. You can find the solution winging it, but you can't. That's not the solution.
Yeah, that's what people call a temporary solution. And that's why I was thinking, like growing up, I was exposed to a lot of temporary solutions. Now, before I go into this, people gotta understand that when I speak about these things, it is not to defamate anybody that I experience these things with. It
Right.
is my perspective of it and what I learned from it. That's it. So before people be quick to judge, to say, how could you talk about somebody like this, or how could you refer to something like this? Like, understand, applying what in African tradition is called Sankofa is acknowledging your past so you can be better in your present future. So what I'm doing is I acknowledge my past, and my literal past is not just taking it all the way back to the continent. It's looking at what I had to do in this life to be where I'm at, to have these solutions that I have, to have this mindset, to have this level of comfort. So when I look at solution, and we was talking about temporary solution, I remember my youth at times, through my experiences growing up, as having to like pay half of a bill. I got that experience in my house where it's like, you know, pay half the rent. Then you pay late fees that come with that. Now I don't know nothing about this. I just know paying half the rent. You know, putting something on the electric bill. You know what I mean? Making things work. You know, but
Just enough to keep the lights on.
But it's just enough. So through that experience, I had to dislike that. The only way, and it's not negative, I had to dislike it. Because if I think that ain't nothing wrong with it, then that means that I'll do that to myself. That means that I will say that that's okay for me to do that because somebody else taught me that, somebody else did that, and we did okay. But now I'm not valuing trying to do better. So that way, now if I do got to take care of that person, that's something they don't have to worry about. Because I learned from what we went through together.
Facts.
So that those things, examining it like that, saying, you know what, when I become an adult, I want to be better at this. You know, and it took a long time. We ain't just, you know, but those situations, which I'm thankful for, because I also look at it, taking it a deeper level, as like, you know, when people say they thankful for their journey, for their path. Well, I look at it like you exposed to certain things and you don't know what you're going to get from them. But a lot of people don't self-reflect. They don't know how to apply that same code to say, okay, well now, even at this level of where I'm thinking at, this level of where I'm at, have I even examined, like, how did I even get here? What are the things that I learned? And now even look at them with a different perspective, where 20 years ago, I might have looked at it like I grew up rough,
Hmm.
not knowing this, sleeping by the oven for heat and different things like that. You know, in a younger mind, you might be like, dang, somebody, you looking at your parents like they was irresponsible or they this or they that. But then you get older and you realize, like, okay, somebody can't do what they don't know. Somebody don't have access to resources that you don't have. That's just how it goes, because it's things that you don't know, that you didn't have access to resources to until you had them, until you learned, until you had a desire to learn about it.
Yep.
So that's no different. You know, you could easily do that. It's just, are you reflecting on these things and saying, you know what, being okay with saying, man, anything for my mama is up. If you understand that.
Facts.
But you have to look at how you came up. So that way you can say, you know what, I don't want to repeat these things. So what I need to do something different. So I got to have a better solution. I got to figure problems out better. I got to figure things out better, you know. But I have to be able to disagree with that. I have to not find comfort in that. I have to not find comfort in living my life thinking that that's okay.
Yeah, not hating it.
Not hating it. No, not hating it.
Not
Just,
hating the experience. Not hating nothing.
because you
Just
wouldn't have got hit. You wouldn't have got to the
you
level
know,
where you could have peace with it if you was hating it.
if you're correct.
Because it'll keep on bothering you and you never going to go find the peace in it. The lesson part of it, the part that made you strong.
Because ultimately it'll keep circulating self-hate, because by hating that part, you ultimately hating yourself, because that part is you. Like that part raised you up. Yeah.
You know, so that's where I think back of the solutions of where, like, I first came into a mindset of, you know what, it was the way that my household was structured, and the way my mother was allowing me to become a man, the way she knew best. Also, her trying to provide and do the things necessary to keep a roof and resources. So it wasn't that we say, Dad, we wish we didn't have to go through that, because I could say, man, damn, if I ain't go through that, would I even be thinking like I am now? Would I be as responsible as I am now? Would I value certain things differently than I do, you know? Because I just kept on saying, like, you know what, that's fine. Shit, I came up like that. That shit ain't nothing. I grew up like that. Shit, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. And then I'm liable to repeat the same situations over and over again because I haven't put no importance on these things.
Nah, you're gonna keep repeating it because it ain't nothing. Right? You kept saying it ain't nothing.
It ain't nothing, right? I didn't add any value to it. It's nothing.
It's nothing, right? So
Right.
yeah, you're gonna keep repeating it because it's nothing. So yeah, you gotta not like that. You gotta want to change that.
Yeah, God. So
And
that's
and
where,
that's why I say that's where, that's that what I say is work to do, because that's the hard part. Like everything that you said is what I be talking about. You know, when we talked about culture, what I was saying is, we gotta think about everything that we know right now, and just say it's all wrong, and just reconsider it. Don't throw it away, right? Just reconsider it, and evaluate it if it's useful in the way that you know that thing to be for your life. And if it's not, let it go, right? And only keep the things that apply, um that you could apply to bring about progress and success, because everything else is just noise and things that's just gonna, make the quicksand just bring you down deeper and deeper, because it's a struggle. You're just gonna keep struggling, and you're gonna sink deeper. So, like, what they say, we gotta eat the meat and spit out the bones.
yeah, yeah, definitely, God. So, I definitely spit the bones out of that, the things that I think that will hurt your teeth, you
You know what
know.
I mean?
Not the stuff that you can, chomp on and get some nutrition from.
That's it.
And that's where I think back, to where I got first introduced to, you know, formulating solutions. They weren't always the best ones, or the ones that would be the most agreeable, but we live long enough, and we just start being a lot more careful with, with the implementation of our solutions, and paying attention to all of your working pieces,
Hmm.
you know, because sometimes when you're younger, you in a rush. You're in a real rush,
Often.
you know. So that's what I think of, when I hear the word solution. That, like, what's the final result? What are we done? What's the goal? Like you said, what's the answer? Um, and then also, did I learn something? Do I have something that I can take with me? Like, did I grow from this? That is, I ain't even know. Damn, I'm not gonna forget that when I come back across this. And I think that's the best part about solutions, because you get to figure some shit out. So we are smoking on the word solution tonight, y'all. And we just been answering our first question. What do you think of when you hear the word solution? Let us know in the comment section. Also, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so when we go live, you never miss another episode. We are smoking on the word solution, and we're going to go ahead and get into the definition of solution. So we are using Merriam-Webster dictionary, and we have solution as a noun: an action or process of solving a problem, an answer to a problem, explanation, a set of values of the variables that satisfies an equation. 2, an act or the process by which a solid, liquid, or gaseous substance is homogeneously mixed with the liquid, or sometimes gas or solid. B, a homogeneous mixture formed by this process, especially a single phase liquid system. We have 2, C, the condition of being dissolved. And I believe that's it. What else we got
I
on
see, I
there?
see three down there, right?
Ability.
I can't see it.
I can't see that either. Let me pull that up. Let me pull this up right quick. Let me see what they talking about. A bringing or coming to an end or into a state of discontinuity. A bringing or coming to an end or into a state of discontinuity.
Yeah, that's pretty clean cut.
Clean cut.
I mean, the very first one, it says an action. That's work to do.
It's something you got to do.
A process of solving problems, right? Like, so we're not just doing things. We're not taking shortcuts. We're not even doing temporary solutions for real, right? Because that doesn't solve the problem. The temporary solution just gives us an opportunity to figure out a way to solve the problem,
Right.
right? An answer to a problem, explanation. I mean, that's clear, right?
Yep.
I mean, two is just stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Shit too is just stuff, right?
That's just a fancy way of just saying stuff. I mean, but that's like I said, like that's why solutions are so. That's why people. That's why we do. That's why people would rather debate, right? Because when you debate, you don't necessarily come to a solution. You're not debating necessarily for a solution. You're debating for the art of debating,
Yeah. Yeah, a
right?
lot of
So,
people do that.
right. So you can be on either side. That's not even the point. The point is, did you prove your point? That shit is dumb, right? And a lot of people would rather jaw jack than actually make a plan and then say ready, break, and go do
Right.
that.
Right. In action.
Go hike the damn ball.
That's it. And run the plays, right?
Just run the play. Just go like make a plan and run the play. Like it's that simple. Like
To some, I see a lot of people struggling with this.
yeah, because they're not solution oriented. They don't want the solution. They want to jaw jack. They want to win arguments. They want to be smart.
That's what it is.
They're not trying to do stuff, right? Like they're not trying to.
Do
They,
smart. They not trying to do smart.
they're not trying to do smart things. You know what I'm saying? Like
They not trying to do smart. They want to be smart,
it would be.
sound, look, act, but actions ain't in the part of the process.
I said something earlier this year or last. I can't even remember. I was like, and I mean it, but I don't really mean it. I was like, I don't need to read another book, right? I don't need any new information. And I say that because not because there's nothing new under the sun, but because you could always learn something every day.
That's right.
But there are so many things that I've already learned that I have yet to apply, and so many things that I have applied incorrectly that I need to reapply.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like I got so many lessons that I've learned already that to say that my mom's lessons and my grandmother's lessons was corny lessons, and now I need to go pay somebody else, to get their lessons, and their lessons is gonna change my life, and they telling me the same thing
Yeah.
that mommy and daddy told me. I'm like, I don't understand.
Right.
Like if I already knew that and I already heard that and I already got that, and if I went to college and I actually read the books and And I look at the self-help stuff and I actually do. How many self-help books do you need to read before you help yourself?
I know, right? That
I
is
I
so
kind of I
ironic.
kind of think you just need one. I think the first one. I think the first one. Like, let me just do these things and help myself. Let me instead. I find that a lot of people would rather read the book and critique the author's ability to communicate their process for success, right?
Yeah, that's people who like to read.
And I'm cool with that. I like to read sometimes too, right? I used to a lot. But
That's reading with no application though. Like it's two. I
yeah,
always look at it like it's two types of readers. It's people who read for fun, for entertainment. That's what they doing it for. They
mhm.
reading for entertainment. So I s- I s- I sympathize with a person that is reading for entertainment and then they criticize and critiquing the author and all of that because that's part of what they enjoy doing. You know,
Yeah, that is their entertainment. That's part of their entertainment.
yeah, you know, like if
That's
that's
true.
part of their entertainment, but but if you reading a book and it's a self-help or how to, but then you ain't doing shit, like you wasting your time. You wasting your time reading a book. It's not serving that purpose. That's not the purpose of it, for you to be entertained by it. The purpose of it is for you to get some information that you can apply,
A
that's
hundred
gonna
percent.
help you multiply in life.
100%.
It's giving you some solutions to maybe some things that you're dealing with. But to read a solution oriented book for entertainment,
It's kind of crazy to me.
I guess.
Like, like I don't know, son.
Yeah, to each their own.
I'm gonna I'm gonna just read this handyman book.
Right. If I can't apply it, I won't read
I'm gonna
it.
I'm gonna read this.
I stopped. That's when I stopped reading a long time ago. I was like, if I can't apply it, I'm not reading it. Like,
Facts. I
you
don't want to
know,
know it. I don't need it.
I'm like, I don't have to be that well read when clearly it's people who are in, I guess, more prestigious positions than I, and they appear to not be that well read,
And doing just fine.
and doing just fine, just based on my observation. you know, they seem to be doing pretty swell out here in this world. So let's move right on to the thesaurus for the word solution.
Wow.
And solution is given to us one way, as an answer. Something attained by mental effort and especially by computation. Synonyms: answer, results, explanation, findings, determination, 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 conclusion, clue, and a key. A key to unlock something, clues to help you get the answer, finding it out, being determined enough to make a plan, the end result, the final, the conclusion, explanation. I can explain how I got here. That's what I learned too. The
Y-
result of that.
Yo, God, they ain't even give you no other synonyms for the stuff part of solution.
No, no. Because this is how this should be being applied. We should be focusing on solutions,
100%.
not chaos, not fuckery, not trickery, treachery.
I mean, that's solutions as in answer.
As in answer.
Done. That's it. Like there's so a lot of people talk about solutions. That's why I say, man, like for me, that's why I got the shirt, we out here, we just spread apart because those people are the all that I care about. Right? Like those are my people, right? The people that want to work, that may not be in my household, may not be next door to me, may not be in the same county or city, maybe in a different state, but they out there, right? And we need to keep inspiring each other. We need to keep appreciating each other, right? We need to keep supporting each other because we are all we got and all we really need. Because everybody else is crazy.
I'm just trying to tell you, the one thing we haven't tried
You
since MLK died is unity.
know what I'm saying? Like
The
I just
one
want
thing
I
we
just want
haven't
us to
tried
unify. Like forget
since
about everybody
MLK
else.
died
Like just let us, the
is
ones that
unity.
want to unify.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, it'd be tough trying to get those together because everybody be so busy with their own thing. Like,
That's true.
you know, it really is. It really because everybody has responsibilities and things that they pursuing
Yeah,
because it is such a rat race, you know,
yeah.
and we have to have necessity met. The necessity it becomes a requirement once you put your mind in that space. You know, for those people that don't play with necessity,
Hmm.
for those people that value necessity, then having a solution to meet it is always number one right there. With a breath in the morning, being thankful.
I mean, if my necessities not met, I'm not sleeping.
how
I'm not-
how could you? How could you?
I don't even know. I don't even know if
How
I'm
could
eating,
you?
God. Like I'm be losing weight. Like
How could you? You know, how could you sleep?
like.
Shame on you for you know what I'm saying?
Like, I
For
just thought
not
about
doing
that. Just like I gotta go do something now. Just to.
right. Come
uh,
on. The way this thing is, the way this world is.
no, it's crazy. I'm thinking about that because we did the show on regular, right? And the necessities was regular, and people based off that show, it seemed like they don't care about the necessities. And like a lot of people don't seem to be focused on making sure that they foundation is secure and steady, right? And that sucks.
That does suck.
That sucks.
That reminds me of a conversation I had with someone, and they said to me, "Man, you this, you this, you this, you this, you this." And I said to them, I said, "But these are just necessities. Like this is just a necessity." Yeah, but I mean, and this was them. This was our conversation, and they said, "Yeah, but I mean, you have, you know, more than this and more than that and more than this." And I'm just like, okay,
This is a
it
necessity.
is a necessity though. You know, like it's not
I need this like
I'm not
we need
living beyond my
air.
means, you know. And then because I cared about them, you know, they asked about certain things, and I said like, okay, well, when you have family, right? When you have parents, you don't know what the universe may bring in the future. You don't know if you may have to, you know, house them or be there for them the way they was there for you when you was in Pampers and couldn't do shit, couldn't even wipe your own ass. You know, what if you got to wipe their ass? So you want to be, you don't want to wait until you have to wipe their ass. See, I'm not a wait until I have to wipe their ass type of person.
In fact, I don't want to wipe nobody ass, so I'm gonna make sure I got enough money to pay somebody else to wipe their ass.
But I'm gonna have a place and
Hell yeah.
provide all that, you know? And
Hell yeah.
that's what we talking about, making sure that you have those resources available, not waiting until so you can be responsive, reactive.
Reactive. Nah, bro. Reaction is not, it's too
You
late.
know? But the wild thing is that I'm having this conversation with this person and they don't realize you can do it too. The reason why you can do it too is because you wasting my motherfucking time right now trying to ooh, ah, and wow,
I hate that.
with me,
Oh, you so
okay,
deep.
instead of
Oh, you so deep.
instead
I hate that shit.
instead of going ahead while I'm giving you my attention, picking my fucking brain, you know?
And actually using your phone and opening up mad tabs because everything that so every wow that I say or that you say should be a new tab that's on your phone of a thing that you open up that you researching and looking up because what I'm saying is so impactful and so powerful and so inspiring that you're not gonna go look it up later. You're gonna use the computer that's in your pocket right now in real time, right? You might even get fancy, right? And just push the little microphone button and hold it up and say, "Peace, God, just speak."
Right? Take
Look that,
notes.
look
Take
that up.
notes, cause you sound like you hating. You know, like take notes or something, cause it sound like you hate. It sound like you making me waste my breath to explain all this shit.
Because
Like,
I'm saying all this stuff, thinking this is what you're gonna be thinking that you absorbing this stuff.
you know, like you sound like you looking for flaws. Something. You sound like you looking for
You sound like you looking
a
for
way
flaw.
in to scam. You sound like you looking for, because talking about stuff, what you see your friends or your family have or whoever, versus inquiring and asking them how can you position yourself to be empowered because you admire that and you want to have it. Now you want to take it from them, but you just want to you want something like it, because I like the way that look. I just need to know the game plan on how to get there. At least what you did, you know, so I can share the game. I can share the resources, share the story, the traumas, and the triumph.
Yeah.
I can show you some things to look for that's what the sharing is about, sharing some things so you don't have to go through that. With Hove said Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
Correct.
You know?
On that same note, I had one of our brothers um uh, opened up his home financials to me, right? Over $1 million home. And he showed me, because I'm like, wow, man, this is crazy. Big eyes. I'm from Brooklyn looking around like, ah, damn, this is crazy. And he's like, word, let me show you something, bro. And he showed me his financials on what it took to run all this. And I'm like, God damn,
You see?
right? Like that wow immediately went from wow to wow. Real small. Do I still think this is awesome and do I still want this for me? Can I produce this consistently? Do I have this much drive? Do I have this much production capability
To maintain this shit.
to maintain this, right? Because that's what the guy told me. He was like, I should have went way smaller and got something super fly, way cheaper to make it way more easier to be maintainable. And I'm like, damn, that's smart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I was gonna follow the Joneses too, and I'm this status, so I gotta have a house that looked like this in this neighborhood and blah 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 and be house poor. I would have definitely been house poor.
You feel me, guy?
Like my man ain't he rich, but I would have been house poor like a mofo.
And having good people like that. So when they see you interested they don't take it like you hating. They don't take it like, like you being negative, because they understand that your admiration is real, but you may not even know, like, we always get the obtain part. Everybody just tell you get your credit straight and get enough money to put down, right?
Got it.
Got everybody running into that trap. And
Got
then
it.
you get the shit and realize now you got to struggle to afford it.
Yes.
Yeah, you could obtain it, but can you afford it? Because if you can't maintain it, then you cannot afford it.
No, and I couldn't maintain that.
You
I
know,
couldn't afford that at all.
and that's fair. Like everybody should understand those principles and those dynamics. That's a solution to your finances.
Yeah.
For
And
everybody.
it automatically made me stop wanting that lifestyle altogether. And I'm cool just visiting. I'm
You
cool.
feel me? Just
I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool just driving by and just like I don't want that. I don't want none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. You know, but the good part is this: if you were able to have it, now you have an idea of what it would cost to maintain it, so you're better prepared.
Facts.
So to be able to be responsible in it, if you did want to obtain that,
Facts.
and that's where it's like that's a solution in itself. When we get that knowledge from it, that action, that process of that solving, yeah, you may not even be in that thing like it's a problem, but you got an explanation. And some people don't even be realizing like the jewels that be in explanation. Like it's not an excuse,
Mm.
it's an explanation. And we take this culturally, and we do like, oh, you trying to explain some shit. See how negative it sounds? Oh, you always trying to explain some shit.
That's how you get the solution.
Well, I mean, the math problems got to be explained so you can solve them. You got to explain where you coming from your side of the story. When you're trying to resolve issues between you and the other person, you have to explain your feelings. Even if it's coming from feelings, or you have to explain your logic in order for the problem to be resolved, for there to be a solution, for y'all to get an answer. So yeah, so we've been smoking on the word solution tonight, y'all. And the definition for solution is an action or process of solving a problem, an answer to a problem, explanation, and then all of the rest of things we didn't even really have to go into, because the thesaurus only referred to it as an answer. So we want to move on to our next question of the evening. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We appreciate it. How do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution? Our second question this evening: how do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution? Let us know in the comment section what you think. And be mindful that we always respond to all comments in the comment section each and every time. It may take us a day or two, but we always get back to it and tell you thank you or respond to your comment. So let us know in the comment section what you think anytime. The God, Ali Dawudel at BK Soul Farm. What you got, God? How do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution?
So if you're a goal-oriented person, I would say that they don't affect very much because you wouldn't necessarily care where the information came from. Um, you just want it so that you can use it. If you're goal oriented, if you're not a goal oriented person, then you automatically want to challenge the information and what you said earlier, look for flaw,
Look for flaws. Yep.
right? Look for you know you wanna go out your way and find you know the elephant in the room or the skeleton in the closet just to prove that this person shouldn't be trying to improve um, themselves or anybody else, right? Which really just sound like just hating because if they're not harming, if what they're doing doesn't potentially bring harm or can't potentially bring harm, then it kind of just sound like you're just hating, right? If a person already thinks that they're right, then definitely so if they already think they already got the answer, kind of like earlier when we talked about not the shortcuts but the temporary solutions,
Yeah,
uh
temporary solutions.
is not meant to be a part of the process of the solution. It is meant for this solution right now so we can step away, take a breath, breathe, and figure out a solution for the whole thing, right? I feel like a lot of people get stuck on the part where they get stuck at
The temporary part.
on the temporary part, and
Yeah.
the temporary part becomes the solution. That becomes the process, and that becomes the thing that everybody keeps repeating.
Yeah.
That becomes the thing that gets recycled in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Those be the actions that gets repeated. Those become part of the stereotype that everybody try to live up to, that qualifies you as from said neighborhood, or you get a black card or hood pass or whatever, right? Like
A black card.
a black card.
I'll take a black card, American Express. Why not?
You know what I'm saying? Um, so I think that's how biases could affect, but like I say, but see all this talking I'm doing, like I'm doing all this talking for people that don't want to do nothing. Like that's what they do. They do all this talking.
We appreciate you, God. You know,
Right?
we
Like nah,
appreciate
like
you.
the first part of the answer is like for solution based, goal oriented people, like they don't care.
But somebody might need to hear this.
like,
Somebody might need to hear this. Who knows? It might
I
pop
don't
up for
care.
somebody. I
Like
will hit that like button, y'all.
I ain't gonna lie, yo man. If I'm looking, for instance, if I'm looking into get into stock market, or if I'm looking for a hot tip or something, like I don't know, you can be the most racist person in the world, the most craziest person. If they say something that's hot and accurate and can make me some money, if I ain't gotta sell them my ass or participate in no debauchery, then I'm gonna make this money, right? I'm gonna get to the answer. I'm gonna replicate the process that works so that I too can be successful. I don't care where the answer derives from. Can I use it? Can I use it? Right? Like, is it useful for me?
Is it applicable? Yeah.
Like, that's what I care about, right? Like, I care about those things. Like, um, but that's because I want to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if I like for the most part, what I run into in my day to day, a lot of people that say they want to do things and they keep saying it and they keep saying it and they keep saying it and they just never do it.
Yeah.
They just never do it. They just keep saying it because they don't really want to do it. They what you know what I find that even with the farming stuff, people ask me all the time, like, I just don't know what to do. I just and I tell them I was like, I wrote a book, for this actually, and I tell them I was like, I'm gonna be honest, like my process when I first started, it took me a whole year before I actually put a seed in the ground because I didn't know what to grow. I kept listening to everybody, taking all kind of opinions, and hey, what do you think I should grow? Hey, what do you think I should? What's the best thing to grow down here in South Florida? All this dumb stuff. A whole 365 days of thinking, of listening to do nothings, preventing me from being productive. My son came home from school with a project, and he grew a black eyed pea sprout. And that was the first time, like, bet, thank you. That's what we
It's
like. That's
up.
that's it's up. Like
It's
that's what we
up.
grow. We grow on beans. We grow. That's what we grow. Right? What else can I grow in here? Because we got a whole bag full of these. I got the 16 bean soup. That's a whole bunch of different
16
beans.
bean soup. It's delicious. Put throw a little turkey and egg.
And I'm saying, them soaking some water for 24 hours and throw them in some dirt, right after, right,
Yeah,
and feed yourself forever.
that's right.
Um, but I spent the whole year as a do nothing, listening to do nothings, because I was scared um, to be successful. I was scared to go out there and actually to do the thing. I'm like, I don't know how to farm. And I wound up killing a bunch of chickens. I wound up killing a bunch of fish. Like a lot of plants died.
You end up learning a whole lot of what not to do. That shit
I
ain't
learned a
going.
lot of that.
That shit gonna keep me hungry. We can't do that no
You
more.
can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, I got great. I went from bro. I real deal went from being scared of chickens, like scared to pick them up, all like I can't even see a angry rooster now and imagine myself running from that bird, bro. Like,
From a damn.
like I got a hot pot waiting for you, homeboy. You ain't
I
playing
know
with me.
that's right. You said running from the chicken, right?
You know what I'm saying? Right? Like it's so it plays a part. It could play a part if you're not trying to accomplish a goal for real. If you're looking for a way out, then yeah. But if you're not looking for a way out and you all in,
Then the biases won't have an effect.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That if you have a goal and you have a plan, that it shouldn't affect it.
Right?
It shouldn't affect it. But um let's look at this perspective though. How do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution? Well, let's look at some different biases. Like um like I can't. That's a bias. People not being self-confident enough, thinking that they can't. People not desiring it, not willing to go and do the things like you explained, like go learn what you need to do. Um, Hesitation, not being a self-confident enough, having enough confidence to you know, just go try something out. Just go try it. Being okay with failing, you know, um, or what is perceived to be failing. Being okay with is perceived to be failing because it's not a fail. It's just a learning lesson on the way to your goal. You learning what not to do so you could be successful.
You
So,
you
but
do get there if you keep going.
you get there if you keep going. But, colloquially, people call those failures. It's not a failure. You only failed it. We did a whole episode on it. Failure is just when you don't try at all. So you have to be trying. If you're in active trying,
You're not failing.
you're not failing. you know,
You're literally doing it.
you're doing, dude. Yeah, because you're trying. It's an action. I'm trying. I'm
you're,
trying.
you're literally in it.
You in it. You doing it. You trying to get it done. You trying to lift something. You trying to move something. You trying to go from one spot to the next. It's action. Um,
Real quick, that's funny you said that, guy, because that's an interesting point that you just made. Uh, People think that they're not doing it when they're trying, like it don't count until it's done.
right. Until you get the souffle.
But nah, you gotta cook though.
You got to do all that shit. You got to mix the
Yeah,
ingredients right.
yeah, that's a good point. Ah, man.
You got to make sure the temperatures are correct. Like you have to make sure your environment is quiet enough so it won't drop the souffle. Like,
Oh, yeah, right.
yeah. So
Because that's a whole nother thing.
yeah, so it's just like all those elements have to be right, and that's getting to the solution to getting your answer. And culturally, because we look at the failures like that, it's always a bias because
Hmm.
people have, I call it like even a prejudice can be considered a bias where people will look at themselves and say like, well, they'll hate on themselves so bad where they'll say, well, they doing that, I don't need to do that. And it's like, okay, well, are you looking at what they're doing in disagreement? Or are you looking at it from a place of not just the disagreement of the action, like okay, so they they successful, they maintain their needs.
Hmm.
Okay, like I don't see that person in this position often, all right, or at all. That seems like something that they never in a position of. I never have heard this person something minor in the family or in amongst their friend circle calling people asking them for money. All right, I never heard this person doing this. Okay, so there's something to learn from that. If you in that group or you privy to that environment and you say, okay, well, this person is never, but then I have the attitude is like, I don't care. I know he got it. I know she got it. I know this person got it. I don't care. Shit. If I need something, I'm gonna call somebody. I don't give a damn. Okay.
Word.
But 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 you have a person who says, you know what? I see you doing that. Now that same person who like they flip the script and they say, you know what? Well, I see that you don't have that you don't do that amongst us. Whether it's a family or whether it's a group or whatever. How is it that you don't have to do that?
Hmm.
How is it that what is it what is your discipline? Because I need that solution in my life. I need to find something that I can implement because what I've been doing hasn't been working because I find myself in this situation all the time. And I would like to know because I noticed that, now, even if you disagree with their with their what do you call it, how their situation is, I just say that because I'm at a loss of words for it.
Mhm.
But even if how their necessities, even if you disagree with their necessities, okay, even if you disagree with their necessities,
I like that. Yep.
because that's their necessities. That's
Theirs.
that's theirs. That's what they decided was valuable, and and to meet their needs and requirements in their life. This is what they need to have, you know, at the level that they want to be at and how they want to live their own life before they die. Okay. So even if you disagree with that, you still should not be looking at it negatively, hatefully, to be able to realize, like, I can ask this person and they can give me a solution. They can help me with my problem. But that bias of thinking, oh, he got this big ass shit. She got this big ass house. She got this old type of car. She got this boat. She got this thing. She got this thing. All this material shit that you wishing that you would do the work to get, that all you got to do is make a plan and execute and get that shit. If you want it bad enough.
But you don't want to do the work. You don't want to make a plan because you don't really want it bad enough. You really just want this person not to have it.
You just want that person not to have it.
Because they look too happy.
You know, so I think that's where those biases come into play, that when they do prevent the implementation of solutions, because I think a lot of people have solutions right at their doorstep and have people and resources. They just don't value the relationships, so they don't, you know, they cut themselves off from having access because of their bias.
Yep.
You know, they too scared to ask. They too scared to communicate. You know, and that allows for people to just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep winning. Like, shit, I'm just gonna win in your face. Fuck it. Like, you know, you gotta act. Like, you got to ask. You know, you got to say something. You got
to say something.
How the fuck we gonna know? Like, I'm not volunteering, you know.
Anymore. I'm gonna say that part. I'm not volunteering anymore. Like I went on that minister. I did that ministry where I learned something, did something, and ran out and ran tell that. I told everybody that I knew, people that I didn't know. I'm like, yo, let me tell you the good news. And a lot of people was like, wow, you so deep. Wow. Right. And it just became that. And I wound up finding out later that while I'm so deep in my face, conversations they're having with each other behind my back, they thinking I'm crazy.
Because you finding solutions.
Because I want to do someone
and you want to share it. Like, look, it's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's this way. It's this way. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to bring it back to you?
You know,
nah.
Like, nah. You know, they'd be like, well, show me some gold. There you go, right there. Okay.
That's only a little bit of gold. Show me the whole mountain of gold.
I can bring all of it back, but if we go together, we can go get the whole pot.
I see
dummy.
what you're trying to do.
You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't lift it on my own. I ain't want to hurt myself trying to get the shit. You know what I'm saying? Not be able to enjoy it when I got it back to the other side of the rainbow.
But the fact that it sounds like you want me to hurt myself, kind of don't want me to share with you no more. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, because you sound like you want to take advantage of me.
You want to use me to go over there and bring it back and shoot me?
You know what I mean? Like, hey, talk about, look what I found. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Nah, son.
I wouldn't be mad because somebody gonna shoot your ass. You shoot me. Trust and believe. So I ain't even worried about it. But yeah, you fill up your pockets, and you know, you try to bring back the show, the proof that we have a solution. But then that walk back over there, or that travel back over there to the other side to get the rest, is where I do see that there are a lot of biases that hinder people from implementing solutions. You know, even though we use that theoretical as a representation of just putting in work, doing the active things and working collectively to accomplish it. So make sure to hit that like button, share and subscribe, y'all. We appreciate it. We just been answering, how do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution? Let us know what you think in the comment section. I apologize, y'all. I couldn't have I got dry mouth over here with this cold thing. It's one of them.
Hey man, we getting there.
Ended, right? But look, and I'm drinking my water, but I ain't want to be sitting up here with like a little Hall's cough drop or nothing all up on the microphone, all doing that kind of. So, y'all just work with me. We appreciate y'all. Let us know what y'all think in the comment section, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this evening's Flavor Bombs. Presented to you by DBCHEFTV. So, this evening's Flavor Bombs, y'all, we got Charlie Kirk's death. I know it's been going crazy all over the internet, all over the TV screen. He was a YouTuber, really famous YouTuber. Some even say he was an activist or something like that too. But he was assassinated, and I think they caught the guy. So we're gonna examine that. A YouTube gift gone bad, y'all. There is a YouTuber, I don't know his name, but we're gonna examine him and shout him out tonight. He gave a gift. He does these pranks where, like, he'll act as if he's homeless or blind or something like that, to see if you're gonna be kind or you're gonna be an asshole. And then the people who are kind, they get rewarded with some type of monetary gift. And this guy got a gift and then he got kidnapped. So we're gonna look at that. It's crazy. And then we got down in
you said kidnap guy?
He got kidnapped, yeah. He got kidnapped. We're gonna go over that though. And then third, we have cut it off or kill him. If y'all don't know, down in the great state of Louisiana, they have a law that if you do something to some babies, they could cut your thing off. All right? Or give you the death penalty. And we ain't mad about that. Yeah, we don't care about that shit. Like, that's what it is. So that's a great deterrent. I think so, before we even get into the clip. But definitely we gonna check that out right there. So let's go ahead and get into these flavor bombs for this evening.
We got him. That was the message from the Utah governor today. He announced the suspect is now in custody after the assassination of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Good evening. I'm Chris Thomas.
I'm Laura Painter. Thank you so much for joining us. Authorities have identified that suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, saying a family member came forward after investigators released images of a person of interest.
Jacqueline Lee has the latest update tonight from Utah.
Today, we're learning new details about the suspected shooter of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The governor of Utah naming the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, saying he was taken into custody after his father recognized these photos authorities released of a person of interest.
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail, held on suspicion of felony discharge of a firearm, aggravated murder, and obstruction of justice, according to probable cause documents. ABC's Matt Gutman speaking one-on-one today with Utah's Department of Public Safety Commissioner.
The investigation's active and open. We will look at everything. We have no reason to believe he did not act alone, but in an investigation like this, we don't take anything for granted either.
31-year-old Kirk was hosting an event on Utah Valley University's campus Wednesday when a single shot was fired, killing him. Police say they found a rifle and cartridges in the woods nearby. Investigators interviewed Robinson's roommate, who shared with them messages he said Robinson sent to him on social media.
The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point.
The messages also referred to engraving bullets. Police say several of the cartridges found had writing on them. Officials say Robinson lived with his family in St. George, about a 4-hour drive from Orem. A neighbor who says she knows the family well says she never thought this is something he could do.
He was a very quiet, very well-raised young man. And they were playful little boys. They had 3 brothers, and that's not how his mom and dad would have raised him.
The Utah County Attorney's Office is reviewing all of the evidence and plans to file formal charges next week. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Orem, Utah.
Well, God.
So
She said that's not how his family raised him. Apparently, you wrong. Okay. So, first thing we want to do is, we want to send some prayers out to the family of Charlie Kirk.
definitely that.
And his family, because, nobody deserves to die for freedom of speech, even though we've seen so many black leaders, and I'm not making Charlie Kirk a white leader, because that sounds crazy too. All right. But I heard, and I say that because I heard this comment from a podcast called Valuetainment.
Valuetainment.
Yeah, they're a pretty big deal.
Word.
And the veteran fellow vet, shout out to Mr. Patrick Bet Davis, who's over there. They do some, I like their show, like.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I like their show. Because that's how I was over there and was able to see it. Because they be having some, I don't like everything about certain things, but I'm one of them people that's like, if you got some type of solutions in some of your stuff too, yeah, I can sit there and listen to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat what I want off the plate. I'm not there soaking it all up. Everything they say is, we tell people here, we not the gurus of anything. If you like something that you smoking, pick it up. If you like something, pick it up, have a smoke. If you don't, leave it in the ashtray for the next person to come around. So I apply that same mindset and method when I'm over there checking their website out, checking their page out. But he made a comment, and his comment was that Charlie Kirk is the equivalent of Martin Luther King.
Fuck out of here. Martin Luther King?
Of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Nah, son. In what sense?
I don't know in what sense. In no sense, like that shit didn't make no sense to me. And it didn't make any sense to me because Dr. Martin Luther King was a revolutionary, and his work actually got laws enacted.
100%.
He got desegregation, even though people may argue that African Americans may have been better prior to desegregation, in some form or shape, ways, and capacities, However, that was huge during that time, during those days with Jim Crow and everything else and all of the other systemically oppressive things that were going on during that time. So I couldn't agree with his comment just because I haven't seen Charlie Kirk pass no legislation, get no legislation passed, or get no, get any laws enacted.
I
You
haven't.
know,
So I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't know anything about this person um until the video, right, of him being murdered. Um, and since then, I've been seeing a whole bunch of his clips coming up, and what I've seen is a bunch of different perspectives.
right.
He seemed to have had a bunch of different poignant perspectives and views on a bunch of different things. So to compare him to a Dr. Martin Luther King, who was singular in view, singular in purpose, singular in his faith and in his practice, right? It's kind
Equality. Yeah, we just want to be
yeah,
treated
you just
equal.
want
We
to be
want to be
treated
treated
equal.
equal. We want to be treated equally. Like that wasn't Charlie Kirk.
That wasn't Charlie Kirk. I don't know what Charlie Kirk, like, based on all the stuff that I seen. It was too many things that I seen to know what his one thing was.
PBD. That wasn't Charlie Kirk. Now I get where they had some similarities. The Christian centered home. You know,
Okay, okay.
they had those things. Like everything Charlie Kirk said, I didn't disagree. And that's just like you said, I just learned some of the, I wasn't following him, you know,
At all.
um, before his untimely assassination. I wasn't following him at all. But looking at some of those clips and things like that, he had some points. He had some things. I understand how it is when with the history of America the way it is, for how some of his points come off condescending and don't seem as compassionate to a certain audience, because like it's one of them things where it's like you could say that if you ain't go through what I had to go through. So, but if you went through what I had to go through, even in the Black community, it's still like, are you borderline a sellout, this, that, and the third. So like you're gonna get mixed things. But however, I still think that nobody deserves to die over freedom of speech, because um this guy was not a civil rights leader, that in which Dr. Martin Luther King was, speaking to the Pat Bet David comment. Um, and no laws got enacted. So
He wasn't even necessarily a mobilizer of people to do a thing.
well, yeah, he could get people to come out to his speeches.
No, but yeah, but coming out to a speech is not them doing something. Dr. Martin Luther King would get people to come out and go march. They would go
Yeah,
walk.
yeah,
They would
he
go
was
walk
organizing.
miles.
Yeah,
They would go and they would come out, listen to the speech, and then go do something. Right? They would.
because it was an assignment with it.
Yeah, it
it was
wasn't
a yeah,
the point wasn't to go to church and
yeah,
be preached to. The point was to go get your assignment and go to work. Right?
yeah.
What I seen with Charlie Kirk, people was just flocking to hear the good news and let the Messiah preach to them, and that was cool for them, I guess. But I didn't see them doing anything with the works or with the message. I don't know what his message was. Like I said, it was too much. It
Yeah, they,
wasn't.
they have broken it up online to not give it.
Like, I don't know what his point
Yeah,
was at all.
yeah, to
I
not,
don't know.
to not give. But I mean, people go for sound bites and shit like that, and you know, and that helps their, you know, because what I say is he was a YouTuber, and that's what I was like.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say that, it's like, you know,
Yeah, I was
definitely
like, he
not
was a
Martin Luther
YouTube, like
King.
real famous, you know, YouTuber, but not infamous, because he's infamous now, you know, but he wasn't
Yeah.
infamous. He wasn't infamous if we didn't know who he was until he passed away. You know, and somebody could be like, well, you just not part of the, I'm not.
I'm not. 100% did not know,
You know,
that anything like that was going on until that went on.
yeah. You know, so it's one of them things where, you know, man, shout out to that dude family, you know, but nobody deserves to die for freedom of speech, because I'm gonna say things that people disagree with. Should I die for that? You know, you could have a difference of opinion. Should a person die from a difference of opinion? And one of the things that to end on the Charlie Kirk on a positive note, one of the things that he was pro-marriage. So
I'm pro that.
So I'm pro that. You know, so I value that. And that's why I'm just like, you don't have to eat everything on the plate. And that is a solution in itself. Pick the good food, pick the good parts. Or just leave that shit alone. Don't even dine there. Just be like, I'm not even gonna eat there. Like, I ain't even where.
Be like me, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's too expensive for my taste. You know? Like that's a solution too. But let's go ahead and get to this next YouTube video.
Well, tonight on The Edge, a feel-good story turns real ugly after a Detroit man is gifted $100,000 from a famous YouTuber.
The Detroit man claimed that he was kidnapped and nearly killed. It's a story Fox News' Jessica Dupnack has been following it and joins us now live with an update. Jessica, take us through this because there are some layers.
Yeah, for the last week or so, we've been working to connect these stories. The first one, as you mentioned, surrounds a guy named Curtis Dixon, a 60-year-old from here in Detroit. He did a good deed. A famous YouTuber gave him $100,000. Then about a week and a half later, another story you saw on Fox 2. He is connected to that. Curtis, allegedly the victim of a pretty unbelievable crime spree.
My life just changed overnight.
1 minute, 60-year-old Curtis Dixon was receiving $100,000 for a good deed.
We need more people like Curtis in this world.
A week and a half later, last Monday, witnesses say Dixon was hogtied in his burned-out SUV on Detroit's east side.
I woke up. I'm like, what's going on?
He survived. Sources say there are some inconsistencies in Dixon's story, but he claims he met someone in the area of Mount Elliott in Nevada. From there, he was kidnapped, driven to ATMs to pull out money, then beaten, tied up, and his car set ablaze. Several days into this investigation, the feds picked up the case from Detroit police. The ATF now investigating this as a possible arson, kidnapping, and extortion.
And hopefully they catch whoever did it to him, because we don't want that in our neighborhood.
Last month, Dixon was gifted $100,000 from MD Motivator. He's a famous YouTuber who rewards good deeds with dollars. MD Motivator posing as a blind man in need in this viral video.
I'll have a couple bucks when I come out here. I'm going to find my wedding ring, man. But I just shut up yesterday, man. But I'll have a couple bucks.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple bucks.
Thank you, man. Bless you.
Dixon offering what little money he had to help.
Even in my neighborhood, people know me now. People that didn't know me now.
And that could be part of the problem. More money, more problems, as they say. Now, I want to know what MD Motivator has to say about all this. He has millions and millions of followers, 7 million on Instagram alone. We did reach out and did not hear back in time for this story. So as we said, the ATF, the feds, now taking over this investigation. I'm told by the end of the week, we should hear more from them. We'll continue to follow this one. Reporting live in Detroit, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
And as I follow this story, it seems that the missing pieces here that those feds will have to piece together is exactly what happened relative to those inconsistencies in the story. Any more you can tell me about that?
Well, we do know there's some video that police were able to use that placed at least Curtis, or what appeared to be Curtis, at some of these ATMs, possibly against his will. And if you remember, too, there were witnesses that say he was tied up in this SUV and that they rescued him. So there are some parts of this story that are definitely true. It's just a matter of placing it all together. Sometimes, though, these unbelievable stories, they end up panning out. So we will see.
Of course, they often do, and we'll be watching this one really closely. I know you have your eyes on it. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you.
What you think, God?
Yo, I hate the news. I don't know if I ever said that.
Yeah.
It was like the people look. So actually, he actually asked the question, or he ain't asked the question I wanted to speak on, but what he brought up was what I wanted to talk about. I don't understand stories like that, because I'm confused at this very moment if the YouTuber had anything to do with that.
Shout out to MD Motivator.
Right, like to me,
no, he didn't have nothing to do with that.
to me
I don't
that
think so.
to me that story should have been something bad happened to the old man, and the FBI police are investigating or whatever. But to give me all this backstory, talk about $100,000 to introduce this other person, and then to say that there are some inconsistencies. Like, so if there's inconsistencies, why are you even telling me this story right now? Like, shut the hell up. Like, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know it. Like, because again, I don't know how to feel about like I don't know what I just watched.
Well,
and then my man gonna say at the end, hey, so you said there was some you said there was some inconsistencies. Would you tell us something about that, please? Like, there's an open investigation going on, and she specifically said that there were some inconsistencies that the feds got to investigate, and you want her to spill the beans on national TV and ruin the investigation so who can get away? I don't understand that shit at all. I hate real people TV shows except for this one.
it sounded like that though, didn't it?
It was so weird, bro.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who, when I watched it, interpreted it like that. Like, why did he just double down after she just asked him, after she just said that it's an ongoing investigation?
Like, why was yeah,
You
like,
know,
come on.
like why did he double down on it? You know. But I wanted to play the whole thing because, yeah, God. But shout out to MD Motivator. I don't think that that he had anything, that the YouTuber actually had anything to do with it. But I do realize why they showed it, because what they were showing was how in the black community, and this is what people need to get from this. This is what people need to get from this situation. You seen that brother get that money. We seen that brother Cadillac truck burnt up.
And they lined his ass up.
Okay, now that brother didn't have no Cadillac truck before he got that 100 bands. Because he was going to go pawn his wedding ring to pay the light bill. Okay? So you ain't got no Escalade like that going to go pawn your ring to pay your light bill. Unless you just really on some nigga shit. like I don't even know what type of shit that is. Okay? But you ain't riding like that to go pawn your ring to pay your electric bill. It just, I couldn't believe it. All right.
As soon as the gas run out on that mug, you're gonna have a problem filling it back up.
I mean, he ain't, that brother don't look like he riding no Ubers or doing no, no lifting or nothing like that. Okay? But he could be. All right? So I'm assuming, but I'm just using my spidey senses. Okay? That MD Motivator ain't had nothing to do with that. That brother got affected in his community because he now got this money. All right?
On TV.
He didn't have no plan on what he was going to do with the money before he got it. He got it on TV, so it was public, and now people know he got it. So who knows what his extracurricular or recreational activities consist of?
Yeah.
Okay. What type of shit he like to get into?
Which is what I thought about when they said inconsistencies.
Well, the thing is that the inconsistency is he probably ain't telling telling the police what he met up with them for.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm probably thinking that is the biggest inconsistency.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But they got him going to the ATMs, taking that money out. They found his ass in the burnt up SUV and everything. But they probably ain't telling him, you know, he probably like, I just met my friends to go hang out with your friends that do some shit like this to you, you know?
Your friends?
Like, nah, like that's, nigga, you was trying to go buy some crack or something, some type of drugs or something. You was trying to have a good time with some money, maybe mess around with a lady or something, and you got lined up. And that's what happened. You know? Now, if he was going to go pawn a wedding ring, he ain't going to want to tell that story about going to go mess around with some little gal or something, because then the wife going to be like, what was you doing? Then he ain't gonna want to tell about no dope, because then the police gonna be like, well, you was buying dope. What you expect?
See, you know what, God? Like, so I assumed because the guy was older that his wife had passed.
They ain't tell us that part of the story.
No, but see, that's what my head, because he was part of the wedding ring, though. I was
Cause we would only be pawning the wedding ring.
Nah, I'm just saying. Nah,
if the wife had passed, no, God, nah, man, nah, you know,
oh,
I ain't putting nothing on Pop, whatever he is.
Yeah, nah,
that
that's
brother.
I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about that fact that
But I'm just saying, like, how else you get into, or else your friends is some fucked up individuals. Like, who you hanging around? Who you go to meet up, and then you get tied up, bruh.
By them, probably.
And then burnt though. They set his shit on fire. Like that's all the way hate. That's all the way hate, bro. That's all the way your life is in danger.
And I'm saying, tell on them, Pop. Everybody snitching these days anyway.
Right, but he don't want to tell on himself. Because there's some inconsistencies there. So
get immunity first, and then
he already been a victim. He might as well go and tell on himself, for real. Like, he ain't gonna get no money back. Money gone.
That money gone.
Truck burnt up, so he gonna have to get a new truck. Hopefully he got insurance. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
If the truck is new, like you say, the insurance might not have even kicked in yet.
Well, I don't know what type of model it was, but if he was wide, I mean, to go get a brand new Escalade, I think a brand new Escalade gonna run you about 80, 90 bands. So I don't think he wouldn't spend this whole, his whole 100 G's on the whip just to get whipalicious. He might have got some used, got him a little, what's this, 25? He might have got him a 17, a 17 or 18, something like that. That's still clean. That's still super clean. Even if he got a 2020, a two dub, a double dub. But yeah, that is like I said, shout out to MD Motivator, and that's a tragedy, man, that brother couldn't even get gifted something, and it went bad like that.
Hello, friends. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Elizabeth Vowell. A Baton Rouge man accused of raping a 4-year-old and exposing her to an STD is now behind bars. Tonight, the district attorney, Hiller Moore, says he's considering some of the toughest punishments possible, including the death penalty. Perry Robinson has more on this. Perry.
Hey, Liz, the DA says this case is one of the most disturbing he has ever seen. He told me he's prepared to explore every legal option available, even ones that could spark some debate. Anthony Jokes, the Baton Rouge man accused of raping a 4-year-old child and exposing her to an STD, is behind bars tonight. Now, the district attorney says he's exploring every option to hold Jokes accountable if he's convicted, including 2 possibilities that could draw attention across the state and the country.
I can't think of anything worse than raping a child.
Hiller Moore says he may seek castration or even the death penalty.
I would consider going to the grand jury in this case and seeking a first-degree rape indictment and seeking the potential of a death penalty.
In 2024, Louisiana became the first state to allow surgical castration in addition to chemical castration in certain sexual assault cases, giving Moore a clear legal path to pursue that punishment. But seeking the death penalty in a case like this is complicated. In 2008, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled the death penalty for crimes like rape or sexual assault, when the victim is not killed, is disproportionate and violates the 8th Amendment. Still, Moore says there is a statute still on the books in Louisiana that could allow him to make the case.
We do follow, obviously, Supreme Court law, and we know that we would have to change a decision by the Supreme Court to do that. But again, depending on the facts, if they are appropriate, this is something that I would consider doing.
Moore admits the idea may split public opinion.
If the facts are there, I think the community would probably support that, although there surely be some that would disagree. I understand that completely. But we'll wait to see what the facts are.
Moore says his office is still gathering evidence and reviewing the facts of the case. Liz, back to you.
Okay.
What you think, God?
Death to all pedophiles.
Death to all of them, right?
Yo, son. I just looked at the 8th Amendment on Google, and the little AI overview says that the 8th Amendment prohibits the government from requiring excessive bail, imposing excessive fines, or inflicting cruel or unusual punishments. So I don't understand the United States Supreme Court saying that giving somebody the death penalty for sexually assaulting anybody, more especially a minor, right, does not, and if they don't die, right, because they're putting more emphasis on the loss of life than the loss of innocence, right, and because the person's life was not lost, right? Fuck their innocence, because you ain't gonna be innocent anyway, because you gotta breathe this fucking air, you gotta drink this goddamn water, you gotta eat this poison ass fucking food, you gotta get this fucked up ass education, right? So because they're not gonna be innocent anyway, let's just help the school to prison pipeline. Let's just help keep them pushing the motherfucking poison and the pain. Let's just keep helping that shit. Yo, man, like I'm anti-paying long-term fees for people that deserve a bullet, or to be set on fire, or to be drowned, or to be hanged. I don't care how they get unalived, to be honest, right? But that young lady, that little girl, that baby did not deserve what happened to her, and I don't deserve to have to pay for this piece of shit life for the rest of his fucking life. I shouldn't have to, my tax dollars should not be going to sustain his ability to be looking and breathing and making sure that he getting his pain meds or his medication or whatever the fuck comes with that castration shit, right? Like hot lead, a hot rod, like I don't care, like whatever it takes to eradicate the disease that this is, right? Like
of pedophilia, yes.
I don't like that shit, man.
Yes, I agree, God. You know, I mean,
I didn't like. I ain't like listening to that story at all.
you know, like this is one of them things, man, where it's like, look at this dummy.
Man, fuck him, man. Like,
we seeing this right here. We got this comment right here. I wholeheartedly agree to cut it off. But how would they prove the rape took place? You know, they would look for any reason to cut a brother's member off. Been like that for a long time, so I don't know. Shout out to Rocky Henderson for that comment, but I'm gonna have to say this, that you didn't pay attention to the actual
Nah,
to
she
the
made that.
news clip.
In fairness, she wrote that comment when you was reading over the questions.
I know, but I know, but after the news clip, I still ain't see another post.
Yeah, that's true.
But they said that he gave the baby a STD. Okay,
That's evidence.
so that's enough proof right there. Yeah, man, they need to go ahead and just
And I'm talking publicly, right?
know.
For no other reason than to,
Hey, you say publicly, hey,
yo, man, like,
hey, yeah,
cause
why
cause
not?
cause
Don't do it.
cause man, monster, man.
Why not? Like they do in Mexico when they hang them over the thing with the when they hang them over the overpasses from a chain or something like that.
I don't know, God. Like I just think
When they cut their head off and just hang the body and shit.
these actions are horrific and and irredeemable, right? Castrating them, like so what happens when you castrate somebody? Like, so they don't have a joint no more. Like, so do they still got their brain, right? And what happens if they get mad at kids and, oh man, you're the reason why I'm like this now. Now they want to hurt the kids, or now they want to, oh man, get out of here with that. I ain't with
I mean,
none of that.
it should be a easy fix. It should be.
You did what? Oh
It should
yeah,
be an easy fix.
you gotta go, son. You gotta go.
It should be an easy fix. It sounds like an easy solution to us, but that rule of law thing got them having to ask, should they do this, and ask, should they do this, and think about a question that we will be discussing once we get back to the show.
I'm pissed off at that Supreme Court understanding of the Eighth Amendment, though. Like, because the person don't die, it's not reasonable to kill the offender. I don't like that.
Well, that's one of them things that they call ethical.
Yeah.
They are still aligning ethics along with, they're still using, and this is a clear example. We're gonna get into this on our last question, but this is a clear example of them using ethics in lieu of a permanent solution. Allowing ethics to conflict with just making a permanent solution. I know we sitting up here exchanging insights, talking about, and people, having a bullet, or being, decapitated and hung over a bridge with a sign put up that said, this person touched babies, But I mean, would it be preventative? Would it, you know what I'm saying? It should be. It should be real preventative, to make somebody think real long and hard if they want to be that next person with that bullet or hanging over that bridge with that sign.
If you don't actually unalive them and you just want to do the castration thing, you can put a sign on like you do with people that steal from stores. And they got to stand in front of the store and advertise their crime to everybody that walk by.
I got my ink on because I touched the baby. That's it. And then don't feed them. And then don't feed them. Just keep them locked up on the pole and don't feed. People will feed them.
Nah, I'm talking about let that cat walk the streets with that sign talking about, I'm a baby toucher. I got castrated because I did this.
That ain't gonna work.
Oh yeah, let the world see that. Let the world read that.
That ain't gonna work.
Cause you big and bad, right? You tough, right?
I don't even think people gonna do nothing.
You don't think so?
Nope. I do not think people will do anything. Nope. But try to stay as far, but try to, make sure they stay away from them because they let sex offenders back out into the public who do things and where they live underneath bridges and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And they just make them register. And ain't nobody, you know, we don't hear about people going down underneath the bridges just to whoop ass to take out frustration, you know? So I don't think people would do anything.
And that's another thing you look for when you're buying a house. Switching subjects real quick. When you look in neighborhoods, look at
Registered sex offenders.
you look
Hell
at the
yeah.
registered sex offenders, right? You look at how close they are to your house, where they are in proximity to the stores that you like to frequent, that your kids might have to go to, just the
Right.
schools, because your neighbor may be one, and if you move into a house and then find out that your neighbor is a registered sex offender, I kind of think that's your fault more so than their fault. I like
100%. 100% if you waited till after you got in that house. You know.
That's what I think.
That you didn't go by there and try to meet somebody, try to, you know, prior to doing that, then you be upset. Oh, they a sex offender, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, people will live with that. People will live with it, you know, to whisper.
Yeah, it had something to talk about.
Just to have some shit to talk about. You know? It's ridiculous. But they ain't gonna do shit. They wouldn't do shit. I don't believe it. You know?
See, which is why I say you gotta unalive them. You gotta put them out of our misery one time.
A solution, you know, like we say, is final.
Yeah.
Right? And it's an answer. And typically, if once you found the path to get that result, you can utilize that path again to get that same result. So I'm just like, if you want to put an end to it, then, you know, it's unfortunately, you know, this brother got to be the example. But I mean, they need to get him the fuck up out of here, man. Yep. So that concludes our flavor bombs.
You've just been flavor bombed, and now back to our show.
So if you just joining us, y'all, we've been smoking on the word solution tonight. Make sure to like and share this video. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Don't forget, all the links are in the description. You can follow us on all social media platforms, and you can check out our merch in the links below and all the other accessories and wonderful things that we have for you. We appreciate y'all for that. So our third question this evening, smoking on the word solution, is: should a solution be measured by its effectiveness or by its ethical implications? And if y'all don't know what the word ethical is defined as, it's like your moral compass. You know, it's like things that you believe, that you subscribe to, you know, how you conduct yourself. And in relation to this question, our flavor bomb that we were just watching, that death penalty and the castration, you know, the castration thing is like, is it ethical? Is it morally right to remove the person's, you know, genitalia as a punishment? Is it morally right to kill them? You know, to unalive them, to ask for the death penalty as a punishment? Is it morally right? As humans, should we, you know, be trying to do that? Be trying to play God in that capacity? And that's what this question, you know, that's an example of something that you can wrap your mind around in asking, should a solution be measured by its effectiveness or its ethical implication? And you could just put any ethical situation in there, you know. So what you think,
So I had an answer before you talked about broke down ethical implications, and I changed my answer. So what I say now is I think you need both, right? So should a solution be measured by the effectiveness or by the ethical implication? I would say both. So at first I was going to say clearly by the effectiveness, right? What works, what doesn't work. We keep the things that work, we discard the things that don't work, and we press, right? That's scientifical, that's logical, that's no emotion, right? Like you can that's considering everything, right? We're going to consider everything, and the things that don't apply in this situation, we're just going to discard and save them for later, right? That's a logical thing. But when you consider the ethical implications of it all, that matters because as an individual, you do have to live with your choices,
right?
right? So, I say often the problem that we have here in America in the black community, and I kind of feel like I say black community because we black, right? But I kind of feel like it's something that everybody got. Is we look to the quote unquote dominant society, to white people and to their rich and famous statuses and to all the wealthy people that we see, and we want their stuff, right? We want that status. We want the things that they have, but are oftentimes not willing to put in a tenth of the amount of work and effort and sacrifice that they have put in or are willing to put in moving forward to obtain and maintain those things, right? We in the communities, we often talk about conspiracy theories, and we talk about blood sacrifices and rituals and this and that. And the real reality is that we talk about those things in reference to the movers and shakers, in reference to the wealthy of the wealthy, right? The ones that literally are printing money that we can spend and get it from our paychecks, right? We're talking about those people. And if they were willing to quote unquote sacrifice their mother in order to get the position that they are in, the majority of people are not willing to do that once they learn that that is the requirement, right? Um, and even if they were to follow through with it, a lot of people wouldn't be able to live with it, right? Um, and so that's why I say I think you need both because it has to the process has to be logical. It has to make sense, right? You have to allow for consideration of of not all things, but of all information, and then allow yourself the time to discern what's valuable and what's noise, and discard the noise, keep what's valuable, turn the volume up on that, right? um and if you can listen to it in your headphones real loud and still get through your day, right, then you can live with it, right? It can is not encumbering, is not hindering anything. So I kind of think you need both a little bit to be fair to yourself, is what I think.
No doubt. So you say should a solution be measured by its effectiveness or by its ethical implications? The guy Ali Dabu El at BK Soul Farm says, I think you need both. I think you need both. That's dope. When I ask myself that same question, I think I need effectiveness. I think I need effectiveness and
That's what I said.
and no moral implication. All right? Because the moral implication only happens when it's something that would definitely challenge my morals. So those things are already off the table. Everything else is, for an example, we want the communities cleaned up. And this is one of them things where, like, something that we see going on socially, where Trump is now getting ready to is sending National Guard members to cities like Memphis or Chicago. Now, we say we want the communities clean, want to be able to go to the grocery store, gas station, these things that we hear, people being victimized who are not committing crimes in these communities. We hear them saying, expressing these things, how dangerous it is. Now, we know they aren't being effective in whatever it is they're trying to do to prevent it. I can't say that people not doing nothing because I don't know what they're doing. I don't follow it. But I'm going to say the things that they are doing, they aren't effective. It isn't reducing the violence based on a communal effort. The elders, the old folks, the young people getting together saying, stop this, we not going to do this. You know, like we see rallies for police injustices, but we don't see rallies for community peace and collectiveness. So if we did see that more and we saw a result of it, then we could have something comparable, but we don't. So for this particular situation, I don't necessarily look at what Trump is doing from the ethical implications of it, where you hear people expressing, you know, what will people think? How will people feel about this, about that? But it's like, if it's going to be effective and it's going to stop little babies from getting shot up from the young sliders and the young spinners and the young steppers, the people who out here just being recklessly shooting up communities, you know, and taking innocent lives, shooting up a mama or shooting up an auntie or somebody else that ain't got shit to do with your beef. That ain't got nothing to do with the problem with the man or whoever, whatever words they using, you know, with your problem that you have, and other innocent people are being affected. So if we not going to do it, then I'm not going to be ethically biased or prejudiced just because somebody else coming in who I may not agree with everything they do, but they have a plan that appears to be, that will be effective. You know, so I think that a lot of times the feelings become so overwhelmed with the ethical implications that it blocks seeing the effectiveness of the solution. And then
I agree with that.
You know, and then it puts people in a position where now you had these conversations and, you know, some people be like, well, do you really want safer streets? Do you really want a safer community? And it's taking the onus of saying, well, you need to do something to change it, right? Like now you don't have to do nothing to change. Like if you wasn't doing nothing before and you was just existing in it.
Now you really ain't got to do that.
Now you don't have to do nothing. And, you know,
it's going to get fixed for you.
Yeah, now, you know, the president is like, all right, I'm tired of hearing about this shit. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of seeing it. He don't experience it because he don't be there in them communities walking around and shit and going through that. And his life, he got bulletproof everything. Wherever he going, they checking all types of shit. Plates, napkins, glasses, socks, shoes. Everything he got going on safe. Like it's a home run every time, you know?
Every time.
We did see the little thing where they tried to, you know, shoot at him or whatever. But I mean, like after that, like you best believe, you know. So, you know, our question that we are asking is, you know, should a solution be measured by its effectiveness or its ethical implications? You know, I'm definitely going with, you know, it should first be looked at by its effectiveness.
Period. Yeah.
You know, like if I'm thinking about how to solve something or how to, you know, how to get the answer or how to, you know, fix a problem, I should be looking at what can I do that's going to be effective so we can get to that solution. You know, not is somebody going to like me or is somebody going to have a problem with, you know, my presentation or somebody gonna have a problem with because they feelings hurt and shit like that, you know. We don't have no room for that
at all.
You know, not when we trying to get to a solution.
Correct.
You know, so that's why I asked the question too, like on some levels, like does a person really want the solution? You know, if they hung up on the ethical implications of it, you know, on the moral thing, well, it's just not right. Well, it's just not this and it's just not that. Well, I don't care if it's gonna be a fix. I don't like because there's some feeling shit that has nothing to do with the effectiveness of you don't have to deal with that shit no more. It can be solved.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. Like I said, that was my whole position until you broke down the second part of ethical. I'm like, I started thinking about that, and I was like, when I started thinking about ethical, I'm like, But yeah, and I agree with you. It got to be logical.
Yeah.
If it's not logical, then it don't even make sense to even pursue it. Because
yeah, I'm like if we like we was talking about with the flavor bomb with the piece of shit dude from Louisiana.
Yeah.
You know, that right there, it's just like what are they having a conversation about? Like they should just be having a conversation about this is what happened, this is what we doing. You know, like we not up in the air on if we gonna do this or if we gonna do that. Nah, we seeking the death penalty. Done deal.
Done deal.
You know,
and telling us some crap about this. And I looked at it further. I mean, you know, I don't get that, man.
You know, so
yeah.
Solutions. You know, they get caught up in ethics, and I think that was a fitting question for, you know, for those things, that thing, and all of this stuff we're currently seeing and experiencing, you know, across America right now. Those situations, he ain't the only creep, you know, and clearly DC happened first, you know, and it's a whole lot of other things, but we can't just look at those things on the outside. We have to also look at things that we deal with on a daily basis too, of measuring our solutions that we apply based on if it's going to be effective or if I'm in my feelings about something versus what is going to work, what is going to allow, you know, you to have that peace that you're looking for. You know, how you going to be able to get to that goal.
Yeah.
How you going to be able to have that answer.
And again, multiple ways to the solution. There's multiple answers, right? You can do you can do long division, you can do short, like you can use a calculator, like you can use you can get to it however you got to get to it, whatever works for you. There's not one answer, but there is you got to go with what fits and what works for you.
That's right. It's a measurement, guy.
Right? Like you can't use like hey Pearl, what worked for Pearl was X, Y, and Z, but I'm like, all right, but am I in a position that Pearl's in to do exactly what Pearl did? Or am I in a different situation and I gotta do what I gotta do because of my situation?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's that whole measurement right there. That's that whole taking an account of the steps that need to be done, of how you need to add,
Yeah.
you know. So definitely, y'all, we have been smoking on the word solution this evening. Make sure to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel, y'all. We really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Our first question tonight was, what do you think of when you hear the word solution? Let us know in the comment section. Our second question this evening was, how do biases affect the identification and implementation of a solution? Also, exchange your insights in the comment section. Let us know below. And our third question was, should a solution be measured by its effectiveness or by its ethical implications? And we exchange insights on that. Let us know also what you think in the comment section. We respond to everything, and we appreciate you exchanging your insights with us. Last but never least, always, our final question of the evening is the word solution bad, good, or misunderstood? The God Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm.
Oh, this is an easy one for me. Solutions are good. Solutions are great. The more you eat them, the more you weigh, right?
Right.
Right. I don't think it's confusing. I don't think it's confused. I think the only thing that I think is confusing are people's desires. I think those are confusing, and them not knowing if they are truly desiring or desirous of a solution, right? Some people just want to be a part of the trend and a part of the crowd and want to be a part of the conversation, want to just want to have somebody else to talk to, and or just want to hear themselves talk because they want to know that they're alive. I'm not saying anything's wrong with any of that stuff. I mean, right now, I'm not saying.
I'm like, if you ain't talking about the solution, what the fuck are we talking about? Like,
exactly.
You know, like, yeah.
Right. So it's all solutions are all good, bro. All good.
No doubt, God. Is solution bad, good, or misunderstood? I'm gonna go rock with the guy Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm and say that it's good. 100% good, great, fantastic, phenomenal. And it's nothing like solving a puzzle or accomplishing your goal, or being perplexed about a situation, being confused on it, and then you figuring it out and you accomplishing and you achieving and you just like, yeah, like there is a sense of reward with that you have personally, even if it does benefit others, in a group setting or whatever. But I do think, because of what you said, which was very, very valuable, was that individuals don't desire solution. I think that is where it is misunderstood, because they haven't taken the time to examine it, to self-reflect and say,
Yeah.
am I a person who who values solving problems, and no matter how they look, no how they present themselves, you know, do I value that? Do I value trying to have it solved, you know, peacefully, you know, or with some struggle, you know, with some what do you call that, adversity within it, you know, because I know we just trying to get to the good part. We trying to get to the goal. We trying to get to the answer. We trying to get to the solution. So it's not a struggle. It's just, you know, learning lessons, trying to figure out the right strategy, getting your measurements together, like we was talking about. So definitely because of that, the lack of that desire is looking real misunderstood, because we have a society, you know, where people aren't solution based. You know, you have people wearing their solution based on their sleeve, like, oh, I'm solution based though. I don't know about them, but we gonna get, you know, when you get put in a box with people who aren't solution based, that's a problem, and it creates this more division, this line of division, you know, where now you have to say like, hey, I'm not in that box over there. We doing this. This is where we are. So if more people would take on the mindset of being a solution based, we'll look good as a collective. We all look better together. It won't be no need for, oh, that's what you doing, or that's what they doing, or, well, you do this or you do that. Like the guy said, everybody gonna have their own measurements, the way they measure something, the way they get to the answer. But uniformly, we will all be solution based, you know, and that allows the ability to work together, because now we bringing ideas together to get to the same goal. That was the point of that.
That was the point.
That was the whole point of that. Yeah. So we're going to check this comment out right quick. See, no, I watched it. I still don't trust putting that type of action. If I was to vote on it in our judicial system, I don't trust the investigation system. But okay.
That's true.
Okay, it's all good. I don't know how you're going to doubt an STD, though. They say they gave the child an STD. You know, so.
You know, you know, to that real quick, I'm so disgusted with that activity that I'm allowing for the mistakes, right? In hopes that it puts so much fear into the future that it don't happen no more. Right? Like, you know, I don't like that, right? Like, cause once you put doubt on one, you got to put doubt on all. And then I can just imagine sitting there looking at this rat bastard with this creepy ass fucking stare and smile, talking about, yeah, prove it though. But can you prove it though? Can you prove it though? And I'm like, bitch, I just want to set you on fire right now, right?
Yeah,
like,
man, go ahead and slit his throat.
Yeah, like I don't like that, right? Like,
what we waiting on?
what you waiting on, right?
What we waiting on,
and,
man?
and it's all because they play these games. That's what I'm like, man. Like, oh, that's what they got you on. Oh, hey, man. What they say, we don't know the time, we don't know the hour, we don't know when we going, but you gotta go. You gotta go.
Because I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine being the parent of that child. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and that's the reason why you hear me referring to unaliving them more than any reasonable, more than any ethical anything. In no ethical consideration. Unalive them, man. Set the example. You know, we don't need, this is something we don't need in our society. Now, they just shot that boy, you know, the YouTuber we was talking about earlier, because people disagree with shit he say. I say, hey, some people would disagree with what I say. You know, they may think ethically like, man, that's messed up. How would you like it if something like that happened to you? First of all, that shit would never happen to me, because I ain't messing with no babies. Okay? So don't even come at me like that, or put your shoe in I don't want to wear that motherfucker shoes. I want to burn that, but put them in them shoes and burn them in the same motherfucker shoes he had on. Okay. So that's why, like we won't even have that conversation.
Yeah.
But
that was a hard video.
But definitely I want to shout out everybody who pulled up. Shout out Rocky Henderson in the chat. And everybody else who pulled up this night. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We really appreciate it. It helps us get this content out to other viewers like yourself. Also, the links are in the description. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at DBCHEFTV and at BK Soul Farm. And we want you all to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time right here on Cigar Sundays Live with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali, Dawood L, and BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.